What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Granada in La Liga. Barcelona is back. Bloody hell, it feels like it's been forever. That's the thing with Barcelona. When they play week in, week out, you're thinking, bloody hell, give me a break. As soon as the break comes, you're just itching for Barcelona to get back. But they are finally back after their first week off since the end of December. And they do have a big game at the Montjuic against Granada, where yet again there is a big opportunity for Barcelona to slowly but surely close the gap at the top of the league table and maybe have a little bit of a remontada of a title charge. Now, before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time. We finally return to our regular kickoff time after having the early afternoon kickoffs, late afternoon and early morning ones. We're back to our regular evening 9 p.m. kickoff time, and this match will be taking place at the Lluís Companys Stadium in Montjuic, which of course is the home of Barcelona for this season, a little bit at the beginning of next season as well. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Miguel Angel Arias, and on the VAR, it will be Carlos Grande. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in third place in La Liga on 50 points after playing 23 matches. We have 15 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses. You look at our last 5 games in the league, 4 wins and 1 loss. Decent record, but not the best we've seen this season. Now, last weekend's games went in the favor of Barcelona. All teams basically around us, Madrid, Girona, and Atletico, all draw points. As I predicted, I was saying that both games were going to finish in a draw. Sociedad, Girona, 0-0. And the Madrid derby also ended in a 1-1 draw, with Marcos Llorente getting a goal in the 90th minute. So now Barcelona currently sit 8 points off the top of La Liga, and of course 6 points off the bare minimum, finishing second in place. We get that Super Cup qualification for next season. And yet again, a huge opportunity for Barcelona as they look at the top teams that will be facing this weekend. Real Madrid against Girona, first versus second. Later on today, a few hours after I upload this, that's when the match will be taking place. And also, Atletico Madrid will be traveling to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan to take on Sevilla. And dare I say it, we keep looking at 2 draws yet again. Monumental opportunity for Barcelona to capitalize. If you look at the league table again, in Madrid and Girona, I think the best result in that game for Barcelona is a draw. Both teams dropped 2 points, better than one team getting 3 points, another team dropping 3 points as well. I think a draw suits Barcelona the best, and if we win our game as well, the gap gets closer and closer. I believe by that point we'll be 6 points off Real Madrid, and with Girona will be 4 points behind them. And again, with Barcelona, we still have to face Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Girona again this season, all away from home, so it won't be easy whatsoever. But again, we're basically Girona and Madrid. If Girona and Madrid draw this game, they both drop 2 points, and they also drop points one more time this season, it will be in the hands of Barcelona. If we win all our remaining games, we'll win the league title. Of course, Real Madrid and Catalan can say that now as well. If they win the rest of the games, they do win the league title. But if we win the rest of our games, we still have to rely on our other teams dropping points as well. So it almost is very close in the hands of Barcelona. Of course, we got to do our job against Granada. I think both games will be taking place before we play our match against Granada. So again, more pressure on the players to go out there and get the result. And hopefully, if you do see a team drop either way in the Madrid game and Girona, one team's going to drop points. Hopefully, both in a draw. And I guess with Atletico Madrid at Sevilla, Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, big game. The crowd really gets up for it, but Sevilla haven't been great this season, so I do see Atletico Madrid either winning or drawing. I don't see Sevilla picking up 3 points, but then again, if they do, even the more, the merrier. But again, I have to emphasize that Barcelona have an opportunity here. They are basically one match week away from having the title back in their hands. Now, again, it's not going to be easy. We have to go to the Bernabeu, Montilivi, and the Wanda. But again, the title race is coming back a little bit for Barcelona. That's why you have to always wait and see. And how Xavi says in the press conference, it's not over till it's over. And again, there is a chance for Barcelona to really come back into this. So we'll wait and see how things turn out, see if the games go in our favor. But again, Barcelona have to stay on their toes, and there is an opportunity to come back in this league title race. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Granada and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 19th place in La Liga on 12 points after playing 23 matches. They have 2 wins, 6 draws, and 15 losses. You look at their last 5 games in the league, 3 losses, 1 draw, and 1 win. Of their 6 draws this season, 1 of them was against Barcelona, but so far this season, they've been absolutely dreadful, and they're definitely on track for relegation by the end of the season. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Granada. Like I just mentioned, so far this season, they've been absolutely woeful in the league, and they're on course for relegation. But the last time we faced them was away from home, where they did end up getting a point. It was a terrible performance in Barcelona, especially in that first half an hour. We were down 2-0 half an hour into the game. Lamine Yamal got a big goal back before halftime. Sergio Roberto pulled a goal back. We were pushing forward. Of course, Felix scored dying moments offside because Ferran Torres interfered somehow. Again, it was because it was Barcelona, but we did have a good second half, but bloody hell, that first half an hour cost us this game. And again, the opportunity is there for Granada to exploit that. Again, the player who got the brace, Brian Zaragoza, has now been moved on to Bayern Munich. So their best player, Granada, did leave during the January transfer window. So that's something to take note of as well. You can see the lineup, of course, on the right-hand side of the screen. We could see something very similar to this, apart from, of course, Gavi and Balde, who are out for the rest of the season. Of course, Jules Koundé on a brilliant streak, and this is the game that killed his season when he got injured. Nonetheless, though, we'll move on. We did draw in the first match this season, but again, I would say Barcelona were definitely still the dominant team overall in that game, and definitely could have walked away with all 3 points. Let's take a look at Granada's last 5 matches in all competition. In their last match, they drew 1-1 with Las Palmas. They lost to Getafe 2-0. They lost to Atletico Madrid 1-0. They lost to Betis 1-0, but they did beat Cadiz 2-0 in a big relegation battle there. But let's take a look now at the last 3 matches in all competition. Firstly is the 1-0 loss to Atletico Madrid. Now, with it being, away for Atletico and still Brian Zaragoza being at Granada, there was, a bit of an opportunity there. I would say Granada, they've never been battered this season. They've always just lost by a goal or 2, maybe 3, worst case scenario. They've always been, in and around the game, making it dangerous. Again, look at their ratings for their players. They're basically all in the green, except for the center back and the left back. Again, the game was very, very close. Atletico Madrid, I think it was Valor Morata late on in the second half. Tight game, but again, with Atletico Madrid's defense being very strong, it was difficult for Granada to break it down. They ended up losing, of course, all 3 points. Next up is their 2-0 loss to Getafe. They got absolutely done by a Borlas away from home as well, what we did lose there this season. And again, this is a very difficult game for them. You're facing a very low block side who, hit you very strong on the counterattack. We know how difficult the Getafe stadium is, and Granada just weren't up for the task. Now, their final match in all competition was a 1-1 draw with Las Palmas. As we all know, Las Palmas this season had been very, very good. Could say, an underdog story for them, being top half after being promoted from the second division last season. So I would say definitely a good point for Granada. Their center back did get a red card in this game, so he will be suspended for the match against Barcelona tomorrow. But again, strong result for them. Their first game without Brian Zaragoza as well. But of course, they did sign Pedri from Manchester United to replace him on loan, of course, for the rest of the season. I would say it's a fairly even match with Granada being at home, the home side. That definitely did give them a benefit. And they walked away with a good point against a good side, but still not enough to really kickstart their season. So overall, final thoughts on Granada. I would say they are a fairly poor side this season, but not as poor as their record show. Again, they only lose very, very minimally here and there, but they do lose on a consistent basis. Their current manager is Alexander Mendia, who did come into the job around end of November after Paco Lopez was sacked. Paco Lopez was the manager against Barcelona in the 2-2 draw earlier on in the season. This would be Alex Mendia's first time facing Barcelona. To be honest, never heard of him before, so there's no real La Liga experience with him. So this will be probably, I think, his first time facing Barcelona as a manager, so that's something to take note of course. Players to look out for Granada, I would say there's quite a few players to look out for, especially, firstly, Pedri, their new winger, coming in from Manchester United. We know Lucas Boy up front, who's been linked with Barcelona a lot in the past. Gumbayu, the Gumbayo Bayern Leverkusen cameo back in 2016, if you know, again, he's been alright for them this season, one of their better players, but it's a team that, has lost kind of, the veteran spark that they did, rely on a lot this season. It's a team that can create damage, but they've lost a lot of players in the previous transfer window. Again, losing their best player and Brian Zaragoza is a big, big loss for them. Apparently, Zaragoza, of course, agreed to move to Bayern Munich, I think in November, but then Bayern Munich pushed for him in January. He left, even though he wanted to stay and help Granada stay in La Liga and not get relegated. But again, it is a weakened side. They didn't really strengthen in the January transfer window, apart from the Pedri loan from Manchester United. But again, it's a side that can be dangerous, but a side that Barcelona should be beating very comfortably, especially at home. Now, with this being a home match very late on tomorrow, of course, the squad list will not be released until tomorrow, I would say afternoon local time. But we do have some injury updates and fitness updates around Barcelona. Firstly, from Frank Rossen Sports saying that Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Raphinha, and Gundogan all trained normally over recent days and will be fit for the match against Granada. Joao Cancelo is still working on a specific plan, but he also will be available for the Sunday game against Granada. Cesar Roberto is currently training inside and not with the group, and it will be decided very late on whether or not he'll be involved in the game. So Roberto could be available for this game, but worst case scenario, he'll be back for the game against Celta Vigo. But with ter Stegen, of course, there is that extra boost for having your best goalkeeper and one of your captains returning. Alex Pentel from Araujo came out saying that from the dressing room, they say that ter Stegen has trained very hard since returning and has practically not rested. The club also values positively that he underwent the surgery that he needed. The coaches say that he is better than before. Again, they're gonna hype up his return as per usual, but again, we should be getting a lot of medical green lights confirmed tomorrow morning. I think everyone will be probably coming back apart from Roberto, Gavi, Balde, Ferran, and Joao Felix. I think Raphinha will get the green light along with ter Stegen. Of course, Gundogan, Cancelo just had a bit of knocks against Alaves, but should be good to go for this game. So again, positive news around injuries. Finally, and getting these two big players back in ter Stegen and Raphinha before the Champions League game is absolutely vital as well. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. This press conference this morning, of course, he was asked a lot of questions from the media about injury and fitness updates surrounding the team and, moving forward and all this other stuff. So let's get and see what Xavi had to say this morning in the press conference. He started off by saying that Granada have changed their coach a few days ago. Now, it was about 3 months ago, but I think this is a little Spanish expression of, shortening the time when they want to emphasize something. It wasn't a few days ago. It was, I believe, end of November, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I think that with the Medina, they have better than defensive fear, aggressiveness of duels. We imagine Granada with a low block. We need the points, of course, and they have improved. They're a difficult rival with needs, and we need the support of the fans to continue with a good streak. Then, of course, an update leaving the club. He was asked if he's changed his mind or something has persuaded him to maybe reconsider his decision, and Xavi said, "I made it clear it does not have change. It doesn't change anything. The decision was right because the club needed a change of dynamics, and seeing the team's reaction, I think it was the right decision, and it doesn't change anything." On Victor Roque's appeal, he said, "I don't want to talk about the referee and the diameters. I gave my opinion last week, and there's nothing more." Again, Victor Roque will be suspended for this game. On Sergio Roberto leaving at the end of the season, he said that he's a great figure inside the dressing room. In the end, it will be his and the club's decision. We'll talk about that later on. He will give his opinion on it. He said that Raphinha will be fit for this game tomorrow. He's then asked on the Madrid and Girona match later on today in about 3 or 4 hours time. He said that what suits us is to win tomorrow, knowing that one or both of them drop points. But let it not happen to us like it did it in front of Villarreal that we failed. Of course, we will be pending and it will be important, but the most important thing is that we do not fail our own test. He's then asked about the blue card system, which now has been pretty much shut down by the entire social media, but Xavi was asked about this and he said that, well, I think you have to try it, just test it. They will do it well at trying things. It's good. It's one more tool that could work, but you never know. So you just basically say try it and see how it is. Then asked about Christensen in the midfield. He said that Christensen is a defensive midfielder and he's a very solid option for us. He's a very versatile player that can cover in multiple positions. He was then asked about the role of Cubarsí with Inigo Martinez now returning from injury. He said it's the same role. I'm very happy with Pau. He's been gaining the trust of his teammate, of the coaching staff as well, and he did start, of course, the last few games, but also with Inigo there will be some competition. The advantage is to be able to have options, and that does not mean that Pau will not play at all. He will have some chances to participate as we do continue on. So we'll see probably Pau Cubarsí drop to the bench as an option here and there with Inigo Martinez returning, but you never know. Players might drop in form, or we're probably going to get another injury at some point. Xavi was then asked about Pau Victor possibly being included in the squad list, of course, with Victor Roque being suspended. He's the other Barca Athletic striker, and he said that he's a youngster with great talent and with a great goal scoring record and ability. He hasn't made his debut yet because we prioritize the development of Marc Guiu in the first team. So wait and see if Pau Victor's in that squad list some more, but if he is, probably will not participate at all. Then asked about the return of Raphinha and the situation of Roberto. So that Raphinha will be available for this game. He is positive, he's recovered very well, and he will have the same mentality that he did have before his injury. But for Sergio Roberto, let's hope that he will be back for the next game against Celta Vigo. So like I already mentioned in the video, Raphinha will be back, Roberto will probably be back for the next game. Finally, a good question. He was asked about with Raphinha returning from injury, what would the situation be with Lamine Yamal? Of course, Lamine Yamal is on fire over the past few weeks. Raphinha is the undisputed starter, so to speak. We'll see Lamine Yamal drop to the bench. Is there going to be competition there? And Xavi said Lamine Yamal and Raphinha play a similar position, but they can both play on the pitch at the same time. I should think that Raphinha's comeback will give us more options to score. So probably one of them's going to be chucked on the left wing. The question is, who will it be? I think we saw Lamine Yamal play on the left quite a bit in the beginning of the season. First few weeks, we know that Raphinha on the left is just absolutely terrible. He's then asked about Roberto's renewal, and he said, my recommendation to the club is to renew the contract of Sergi Roberto. For me, he's an important player when he has been, so my recommendation is this, but of course it will come down to a personal decision and what the club decides. Bloody hell, this man is still pushing for Roberto renewal. Absolutely unbelievable. Then he gave us an update on Cancelo and Araujo, saying that Cancelo and Araujo have been playing with some discomfort lately, but they will be ready for the game tomorrow. Hopefully, they won't need to be risked for the game tomorrow, but we'll wait and see on that. He then was asked about Gavi, an injury update on Gavi for the first time, I believe, since his injury when he tore his ACL back in, October, November time. And Xavi said that Gavi is recovering perfectly. I see him as excited as ever. Even when he's not playing, he's still a very important part of the team. So far so good on Gavi. Nothing terrible or nothing positive to report at all. Then asked about his day-to-day life changing. He said, look, it hasn't changed. I have a friendly relationship with Deco. It's been said that I don't have a good relationship with Deco, but this is the complete opposite. If he asks me about planning for next season, I will tell him my opinion. And if I can help Deco, and he as he has done, I will. My day-to-day life has not changed. I'm even more motivated than I was before. So again, once the club start planning for next season, to the summer transfer window, what new coach they want, they may ask for the input of Xavi, because again, they were Deco and Laporta have come out in the media multiple times saying that we were planning next season with Xavi. He was going to be our coach 100% next season. So this comes as a surprise to not only us, but also the board as well. Then asked on the Gundogan Lewandowski link up, and also with Pedri as well. Said of course with Pedri there's also going to be that link up ability. They have a good feeling with Lewandowski. Partnering a lot with Robert is always clearly beneficial for both him and the player. Then asked on Fermin Lopez, who again minutes has quite reduced recently, and Xavi said that, look, I am very happy with Fermin Lopez. He's one of the most pleasant surprises of the season so far. He's participating and he has played almost in every single game this season in some sort of capacity. The recovery of Pedri, the same with Frankie and Gundogan and Christensen in the pivot. There is competition, but I'm still very satisfied with his work. Also, by the way, on Romeu, he did pick up a knock this morning in training. He will not be available for this game, but he'll be back for the Celta Vigo game. Xavi did confirm that just needs a little bit of rest. It's nothing too serious, but hey, it's Romeu, so no one really cares. And finally, Xavi concluded off by saying the reaction to my goodbye has been spectacular from the players, the fans, and the coaching staff. I have a clear consensus, even more excited, and I will stay with that mindset. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction to the match against Granada tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think with now having a week break, we have a pretty similar idea of what Xavi's going to go for. I think he will pick a fairly strong side for this game. And of course, we're going to have another week off before the Celta Vigo match and before, the Napoli game midweek. But I think that Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Koundé, Araujo, Cubarsí, and João Cancelo. Midfield three of Christensen, De Jong, and Gundogan, with Pedri just playing in front of them on the left-hand side. And a front two of Lamine Yamal and Robert Lewandowski. Pretty much the exact same team against Alaves, but with Ter Spider-Man coming back in for an Peña. Of course, that would make him the captain on the pitch as well. There's really no arguments about this. I think seeing Christensen having another game in midfield would be important. I think the one change that could happen is that De Jong drops back, Pedri back in the midfield. You have Christensen maybe at center back or Cubarsí, and then with another forward up front. But Raphinha is not fit. Victor Roque is suspended. Ferran's injured. Joao Felix is injured. I mean, Mark Guehi isn't starting this game, let's be honest. So it's going to be Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal. And I think that Xavi will stick with that midfield four. Of course, there could be a shout for Fermin Lopez or Romeu. But again, with us having that week break, I highly doubt it. We could see Christensen drop into the natural part of the defense. And then maybe Romeu or Fermin in midfield. We could even see Hector Ford. But I don't think Xavi's going to play around. He's going to keep it plain and simple. He wants to get the squad. I think this kind of, first 11, a strong dynamic heading into that Napoli game, which is going to be monumental for the players, coaching staff, and the club. I think other than this lineup, I would be shocked if Xavi makes even one change from this. Whether he brings in Fermin, Romeu, Hector Fort, maybe he sticks with Inaki Peña, I have no idea, but other than this 11, genuinely, I would be shocked. And that's why I think that Xavi Hernandez was selected for this match, but of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from Xavi's lineup. You could call me crazy, but I will explain it as the lineup comes up on the screen right now. This would be the line that I would pick for this game. I would go Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Koundé. I don't know why Kubarsi is the captain, but he wouldn't be the captain in the sense. It would be Ter Stegen, Inigo Martinez, and Hector Fort. Midfield three of Christensen, De Jong, and Fermin Lopez, with Pedri on the left, João Cancelo on the right, and Marc Guiu. Essentially, my thought process is to give all the big players a rest. You know, the Gundogans, your Araujos, your Lamine Yamal, your Lewandowski. We are, I would say, one injury away from not being able to compete against Napoli whatsoever, because our squad is basically down to the bare bone in terms of injuries. You know, we will get one more injury to Pedri, De Jong, or De Jong, Gundogan, or Pedri. One of them get injured, we're screwed. One of Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal gets injured, we're screwed. One of Araujo or Koundé gets injured, we're screwed. So I'm thinking, in that sense, give them another extra week off. They play against Celta, then the Napoli game. You know, 2 games in the space of around, I think, 72 hours or so. That's my thought process. I'll maybe bring them on the game as well, give them some minutes, they say, match rhythm and stuff like that. But that's my thought process. I want to rest all the main players, and that's kind of the formation I've kind of come up with. De Jong, for me, would not play more than an hour. I'd get him off ASAP. Same with Pedri as well, and also on the same lines as Koundé and Cancelo. That would be my thought process for this team. But again, my priority was resting ahead of the Napoli game, taking no risk in terms of injuries, fatigue, muscle injuries, whatever the case may be. And that's the line that I would select for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you'd rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? Has to be a win. Not only do you need momentum going into the game against Napoli, but one of or both of Real Madrid and Girona are going to be dropping points, and you have to be there to capitalize. I've gone with Barcelona win this match by 2-0. I think with Ter Stegen coming back in goal, easy clean sheet, and Inaki Peña is absolutely shite. I think we'll get a goal, hopefully in the first half, and we get a little goal in the second half, then just take the brakes off a bit and kind of control the game. I don't see Granada getting a goal. I think if the best result for them would be a 0-0 draw. But bloody hell, man, this is the second worst team in the league at home. This should be nothing more than a comfortable victory for the blaugrana side. I think it will be the case. And again, you have to capitalize on other teams dropping points around you, which they will. There is a guarantee. You want to, of course, have that chance to claw yourself back into a league title race, and of course, building momentum for the Champions League. But I think Barcelona will win this match. Overall, I have gone with Barcelona winning this match by 2-0. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the score line will be. So that's a match preview for Barcelona versus Granada in La Liga. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing, firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What lineup would you select if you're the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me, watch the game with me. Follow straight after the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. Hopefully we can build some momentum for the Napoli game and capitalize on other teams dropping points around us. Take care and Forza Barca.